magic.
Okay. So, hold on.
Hi, everyone. We're back. So Tabitha and I just had lunch. And if you got to watch earlier, we did an ocean dirty pour. And I was actually the student, and she was teaching me. So you might have to scooch this way just a little bit so we can see you.
Okay.
Because you're out. There we go. Yay. There. And so we're back from lunch, and it's Monday, and we're going to make some dirty pour pendants. So this is the skin, the acrylic paint that dries from your dirty pours, and I save it. And I actually put this underneath freezer paper, shiny side up, underneath my dirty pour so that all the paint will fall onto the freezer paper. And then the skin's dry, and I'll let them cure for a month or more. And then when they're done, this is what you get. You peel it off the freezer paper, and then we're going to take a pendant and make a dirty pour pendant from that. So, are you ready to get started?
I am. I just saved this, or I'm posting it to your page.
Oh, I have to approve it.
Approve it.
Okay, cool. So we're getting all of our social media alerted that we are live right now, and
then once you approve it, then I can share it. I think
pending post and approve.
Okay.
I think it automatically pops in there.
It did, but I think you have to approve me sharing.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Me to tag her. There we go. Okay.
We're good?
I think we're ready. Yay.
Can you see the post on? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I think we're good. We just want to make sure that we can see comments too. I'm so new to this. It's kind of funny. This is number 2, take number 2. Because, anyways. All right. So what I usually do in a perfect world, and I've got one, but I just don't have it handy, is I would use an X-Acto knife because it's so it's so easy to do that. So I'm going to use this to trace.
Okay.
And it's not going to matter. You can turn it over if you wanted to and trace that side, but I'm cutting on the inside of the trace line.
Right.
So the marker's not going to matter. All right. So I'm going to place this here, and I'm going to trace. And I did pick a similar color. You want to angle when you're tracing because you want to get as close to the edge as you can.
I want to make sure that I get some of this
goodness.
Good gold in here, yes.
Okay, did I get a good trace? This is going to be the day that I just look like I don't know what I'm doing.
Maybe I should have warned you before I came over.
Okay. All right, I have a good trace on mine. Again, I can barely see it, but I did that on purpose just because I wanted to use similar color.
Okay.
You can also use those drafting pencils, the white ones.
Oh, yes.
Those work really good. Or even a pencil would work good on this because the gray, silver, yeah, yes, would really shine through. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut on that line that I just traced, because then I'm going to put it up to my cross and see how much I actually need to cut off. I probably should have got you a pencil because it is kind of hard to see when you're cutting. Are you going to be able to see that?
Yeah. I made a good imprint too.
Yeah, I do too. I'm going by the little dotted imprints.
Okay. Do you have the other end? You do. Okay.
I do.
So yeah, this one's gonna be pretty. Do we have, it looks like there's one, I bet that's, Carissa, is that you?
I kind of lost my line, so I probably should have used a pencil. It would have been better. I don't think this is going to be a good cut. Yeah, maybe so. Okay.
A lot of the dotted lines. I'm going to try to follow that.
You want me to get you a pencil?
I feel like I'm okay.
You can see on yours? Okay.
I think so. I think I about mauled this.
The part that got me the very first time I did it is when it angles right here.
Yes.
It does a sharp angle, and that was probably the hardest part.
Yeah, I bought some for Christmas that were almost like a donut shape.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of beat me up a little bit trying to get them finished.
I'm trying to think of where my X-Acto knife is because I think that would work.
I feel like an X-Acto knife should be in every room of the house.
Right? I'm trying to remember where I used it. Oh, I know. Okay, Tabitha, you keep cutting. I'm going to go get the X-Acto. I remember where it is.
Okay, so learning curve for me, I was following the dotted line, but
You got to cut on the inside of that,
well,
right?
not even that. It's once the pressure's off of it, then the paint is filling out again, and the dotted line is going away. So if you try to follow that and you don't cut it fast, you've got to follow the line that you drew.
That doesn't make sense.
Okay, so I was drawing, and just so you guys could see, this has
Dotted ridges.
It's got the dotted ridges on it. So when I pressed down, I had my line that I drew, but then I had the dotted ridges. So I was cutting along the dotted ridges, thinking it would make it a little bit easier when I put it in.
Yeah.
But my dotted ridges are going away.
Oh, I see what you're saying. As you cut,
as I'm cutting
it's
filling back out.
I see what you're saying.
The paint is relaxing.
Let's try
so
with the X-Acto knife. I'm dangerous, so
yeah.
This is not really a how-to video. This is watch us video. So, okay, with my X-Acto knife.
Oh yeah, kind of.
Did you get it wrong?
No, I mean it's bigger, so yes, I did, but it's not ruined wrong.
Let's see. See, the first one that I made, because I haven't done a cross since that first one. I just used the scissors to cut.
Okay, Bud is watching. And I've pulled mine off the screen. Sorry. Sorry, kiddo.
Mm-mm.
No luck.
I'm trying to get it. I need a template so that I can use this template, every single time, like out of cardboard, like this.
Right. But for now, what if you use this side of the pen and color your thing and then trace it down? Will that work? See what I'm saying?
I want mine to lay
Or with a pencil.
this way. You mean trace on the inside?
Here, I'll show you on mine because I can knock it off. I feel like, let me try.
Or even
If we-
this.
See, yes. Okay, so look. I am going to trace this.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I see what you're saying.
You know, like,
stamp it?
And then stamp it, yes. And then this will just wipe right off of the edge.
Yep. Oh, look at that.
Maybe it's drying, so it may not. There. I'm going to use that. I'm just going to wipe it off.
I have a feeling that that's going to be wide.
Yeah, it'll probably be. You'll have to go on the inside like you were on the drawing, I think.
Cut yours out and see. See where it comes
scared.
out. I know. I impressed mine onto the paper.
Ah, that would be better.
I don't know that I'm convinced that that's going to be better. Ow. We're having to make a template to get the shape of the inside of the cross. Okay, so if this fits in there. See, and even that. I can trim it down, but I feel like it's a lot closer.
Okay. So yeah, it's big. So let's see if I can just take a little bit off.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm doing, because if I can get a good template, then I can just cut around.
So I'm just trying to take like just a teensiest, like a 16th of an inch off all the way around.
And that's really what it needs. I mean, just trimming.
Do you know what would be good? Is to make a mold would be polymer clay.
Or you could just make an epoxy mold. Because once you pop it out, it's going to be the exact size.
I've never made an epoxy mold. Oh, I guess you just
pour the epoxy in there, and you could probably spray this on the inside so it will pop out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because my cross is losing its shape. Yeah, no, my cross is losing its shape. Let's see.
That's what I'm afraid of here. Maybe we should have picked circles.
We totally can.
No. It's fine. Let's see. Okay.
Am I cutting your cross? Oh my gosh. I'm totally cutting her cross. I'm like, I don't remember mine having Oh, Tabitha. Stop me.
Oh my. Okay. I'm sorry. I think I just moved your table.
It's okay. I cut your cross.
Oh. Okay. I feel like this is close. Hold on. Let me see. Let's see where I'm. Okay.
Now, if we did it Tabitha's way and we pushed it and carved.
It doesn't always end up perfect, though. But I think making a mold on a thing like this would actually be.
Yeah, we might have to go circles because we aren't.
Okay. Well. How close is this? It's big.
Nope, and this paint is so thick too.
Yeah, it's popping out. Okay, so I'm gonna try to do this. So I pushed it down to try to get like the shape of the top.
Mm-hmm.
And
my
then,
poor cross is looking like not a cross. Yeah, because if I do it the way I'm going right now,
okay,
I've got a corner missing.
okay, so I pushed that and got that one in. And I've got like a little bit.
But it's going to be, what's going to happen though is when you start putting the epoxy in there, it's going to all want to settle in the center because it's grooved.
Right.
Let's do circles. Until I can make a mold for this.
Yeah.
Let's do circles. So grab the basket that's behind you. That whole basket has nothing but molds in it.
Oh my.
I know it's scary.
It's actually really quite awesome.
Okay, so one that's going to be easier, not the crosses.
I don't want to give up.
Until we do a mold. There's these.
Oh, I like that.
But that are we going to run into the same? But no, because we don't have the curves of the cross.
No, because we can cut it really fast because it would be straight lines.
Or we can do a big giant circle.
I'm good with either one.
I'm going to try the circle.
Okay.
You try whatever you want to though. Whichever one you want to do. I think for simplicity, okay, do that one then. Okay. I'm going to do the circle. So we're not going to do the cross. The reason we're not going to do the cross is because there's about, how much is that? Maybe a 1/16 of an inch?
Mm-hmm.
There's a 1/16 of an inch when you're trying to cut, because you have to cut the cross to the inside of the mold. See how the mold kind of sets deep down in there? And we're not able to get a good, so I'm going to have to just make a mold of the inside of this cross so that I'll be able to make more, it'll be easier for me to cut the paint skin. Ooh, I wonder if I have enough.
Oh
no.
If you don't, you can fill it in with glitter.
Oh my word, look at how close that is.
Oh wow.
Okay, so this one is easy. This one you can put on your, or for me anyways, I can just use the X-Acto.
Yeah.
And go all the way around.
I'm going to use this little section. I'm still going to have to trace. Well, maybe not.
Ooh, don't get your fingers.
I feel like I can do it with the X-Acto.
This paint is too thick. The skin?
Yeah.
It's super thick. It's my X-Acto knife. It's not. Okay, there we go.
Okay, I'm going to cut this one. So I've got a little bit of a... No, I'm not. I'm afraid to mess it up again.
There. Got that piece off?
You did?
Yep. I just got to hold it so it doesn't scoot around.
Okay.
And just get crazy with your X-Acto knife.
I didn't realize you had two of them. I'm stealing yours.
Well, that one's just a knife
Right.
though. I don't know that it'll cut it.
Oh, no, I mean, I'll steal your scissors. I'm sorry. I thought since mine's a straight line, it might. Kind of.
Okay, so if I just turn it around, you just keep rotating this one, the round one.
Mm-hmm. I'm just hacking this, but since it's a straight line.
Yeah. Now I can get my scissors and boom. Okay. Whose idea was it to do a cross?
I don't know. You caught me at a bad time. I'm doing a live YouTube video. I'm so sorry.
What kind of video is she doing? Okay. Now this is just a matter of trimming my circle down.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing here. Apparently I can't cut a straight line.
It's okay, I can't cut a straight circle. I'm getting close.
Oh, this was way bigger than I anticipated. Okay, well. Okay, so I'm just kind of scoring this. So squeeze it in, and since it's a straight line.
It's probably easier to work with than the cross was.
Yeah.
Same here. There. Now I can, oh, awesome. Get my nail and just push it down.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm in.
Yay. Good. Oh, wow. That is gorgeous.
All right. So I'm going to start mixing the epoxy. Because I'm going to show you a couple tricks that I do. And you need just, I mean, we don't hardly need any epoxy. So,
right.
Like the mixing part is going to be.
So you do yours in one step.
No, I'm actually going to pull it back out.
Okay.
Because that's one of the tips that I'm going to give.
Okay.
So I just wanted to make sure it fit in there.
So I'm jumping ahead.
Yeah, I don't want it to come up on the edges at all because that will affect the epoxy.
Right.
It will have room to go underneath there. And I don't want to give it a reason to start popping up. Okay, so yeah. So just keep trimming until you pretty much can get it in and out easily. In other words, you're not having to force.
Right.
You're not having to force it anymore. Okay, so we're good there. Part A and part B. We're going to use the same epoxy, so I'm going to go ahead and mix.
That totally makes sense.
We have your daughter's still watching.
Hey, bud.
That's too much.
Okay, I feel like that's good.
Oh yeah,
I think that's going to be pretty.
That is so pretty.
If you guys can see.
Oh, I like it in that brushed metal
completely
too.
My colors and style. Yay!
My color marker. I need to get a black marker. We had to move this video into the living room. And so all my supplies are in the other room. Right now I'm just marking my cup.
What a good idea.
Where I want my epoxy A and B to go up to. So that way they're equal amounts. And if you needed more in the cup, all you would do is just make your platform higher. Like, you know, stack more popsicle sticks.
That's a great idea because I always end up feeling like I have too much. But I'll use the cups that have the scores on the side. Like
yeah, the little ridges.
And then I do that, and I'll still mark it because I'm just,
Yeah, I did not come up with this idea. I got it from Jessica Mascioni, I think is how you say her last name. She has a Facebook page, and she actually does glitter tumblers, and that's what she used to measure the epoxy.
It's a great idea.
Yeah, it is. It works really good. Okay, so let me study. This probably comes out fast. Do you mind holding
Not at all.
Just so it can be up higher. Right here is good. Let's see, put it down flat. Yeah, that's good. Okay, same thing. Look at you.
You make this look so easy. Ooh.
As you were saying. Oh, this is such a fun day. Let's see, turn it right there. I'm actually looking at the line on your thumb.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. And the thicker, it takes time for it to settle and level. So what I'll do is I'll stop before I think I have enough, because of that fact right there, that it takes time to settle. It's thicker, so it takes time to spread out. How does that look?
Needed. No.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Okay.
Okay, so then what we're going to do, oh, and we're using Stone Coat, Art Coat, and this is the A and B. It takes equal parts of each. All right, so normally what I would do is I would use a clean cup. Let me put my gloves on because this is going to start getting on my skin, and I don't want it to do that. Always wear your gloves. Work in a ventilated area. Always read the directions on the bottles of any products that you're using. This is not necessarily a how-to video. This is just watch us video. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, it's probably easier to scrape out the more fluid liquid than the thick one, because the thick one wants to grab all
Right.
over. So it's easier for me just to pour this one in here and scrape it out. Some people, and a lot of times I will just use a clean cup to do this part with, to pour both A and
Right.
B.
That's usually what I do.
Yeah.
This is a tiny amount.
Yeah, it's such a tiny amount, and to save on time, I'm just going to do it this way. So when you're using these little cups, make sure you scrape the bottom, because look at how much more I get out of there. There's still a lot in the cup than you think. It wants to hug it. Okay, I think that's good. And usually I will mark the cups on the bottom, A and B. So if I have to make some more, I know I'm going into the right cup.
Right.
Okay, so 3 minutes.
You want to time it? Yeah. I'll time you. I think it's preset on my phone, actually. Oh, no, I moved it. Hold on.
I bet it is.
Okay. So I definitely learned the importance of scraping and mixing it.
Yeah. Did you
Completely.
notice on the colors earlier today
Mm-hmm.
that I had the same exact color you did until I started scraping? I
Right.
learned that a long time ago, that the plastic cups, the Floetrol and the paints, they want to hug the cups.
Oh, yeah.
They want to stay on there. They don't want to get mixed in.
Well, I've ruined more pieces than I care to admit, just even not mixing my epoxy correctly.
Oh, for 3 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, you can't cut it.
Mm-mm.
You cannot.
You can go longer, but you can't go shorter.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you just keep mixing. Every epoxy company too is different. Some of them might say 3 minutes. Some of them might say 4. Whatever the directions say on the bottle, that's what you should do. This Stone Coat is 3 minutes. I love Stone Coat. It's got great working time. You can get over an hour of working time,
really?
Especially if you're using your heat gun, because it'll just
wow, I didn't realize you could get an hour.
Over an hour, up to over an hour. And of course, a lot of things will come into play, the temperature and the environment that you're in,
right.
Whether or not you're using a heat gun, every couple minutes to just keep it more fluid. But the working time on this is really, really good. Oh, you know
That's
what?
a good thing to remember.
We're going to need that heat gun.
I'll go get it.
Do you mind?
Not at all.
Unplug it and then just plug it in right there where you're at.
Okay.
So when you're mixing your epoxy, when you're mixing a lot, you don't want to stir vigorously because you're creating a bunch of bubbles. And even though you can correct that, it's just a lot easier if you don't even create them in the first place. So you should be stirring slow. I'm actually stirring a little too fast right now. You should stir slow because with every stir, you're creating air bubbles. And I can actually tell that the temperature is not, it's not over 70 degrees in here. You should work at 68-degree temperature or warmer. 70 degrees makes me feel happy if I'm working with epoxy. But in a minute, I'm going to take a really quick second of that heat gun onto this. And even though it's in plastic, be careful when you're doing this because you don't want to keep the heat on there too long. It will melt the plastic, and then you're getting ingredients from the plastic melting into your epoxy, and you're compromising the chemicals. So has it been 3 minutes?
You got 14 seconds.
Oh, okay. Okay, so go ahead and hand me that heat gun. I don't do it for very long at all. And I usually try to make sure I've got something other than this tablecloth underneath.
Here, we're going to put this under.
Yeah. Okay. Not very long at all. And then I'm going to re-stir it.
Oh, yeah, you can tell it warmed up.
Yep.
It's not as cloudy.
Yep. Okay, so this is my little trick that I learned. So what I do, I'm going to make sure that I have a popsicle stick handy, which is what I'm using and we've already used, and then a toothpick. Because a toothpick is going to help you to get into the corners that you can't really reach. So this is what I do. I get my pendant, and that's one of the questions a lot of people ask. They're like, how did you get your skin to stay on the bottom?
Right.
And some people were using the glue dots, and then it would come up, and and I thought, this is like a glue, basically. So why wouldn't you just get this with a popsicle stick and coat it? Just kind of give it a little layer like it was glue, just like you're gluing something. You don't need a lot at all, just whatever you can get on the end of the popsicle stick, because you're just basically wetting it.
I can't believe you came up with this, because I've been buying the, what is it, the E600 glue.
No.
And then you have to let it dry for 24 hours, and it makes it thick.
Because I couldn't understand why people were like having such a problem with it. And I'm like, just use your epoxy. When I would watch the videos, I would like talk to the video.
Oh, yeah.
Just use your epoxy. There's no need to buy another ingredient.
Well, I never had any problems with it, but it's, oh, goodness. I got epoxy on my thumb.
Oh, I forgot to bring the wipes out here. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. But it makes it thick. It's thick, and it comes up the sides.
Yeah. Okay, so I've got my popsicle stick, and I'm just kind of rubbing it all on the metal bottom tray is all I'm doing. And then Tabitha, you almost have too much.
Okay.
So if you can get a clean popsicle stick and try to scoop some of it out, because you just want it to be like a very thin layer of glue. Okay. Because what's going to happen is when you try to put it in there, it may not adhere to it. So we're just kind of, you know what I'm saying? We're just, so yeah, just get a clean one and try to scoop some of that excess out. Here, wipe it on this. And then use the other end, because now you've compromised, And here's some more. Oh no.
Okay, so what I was trying to do was not leave any lines in there. So, okay.
But I think this is thick enough.
Yeah.
It might not matter. Some of the skins, they dry really thin. But as you can tell, this one dried really super thick.
Right. Okay, is that better?
Yep, that's good.
Okay.
Okay, so
I
then
was treating it like the glue.
Yeah, no, you don't want a lot. You're just trying to give it a quick layer.
Okay.
So then you're going to get your skin and you're going to pop it in there. Get a clean popsicle stick and gently push along the edges. And if epoxy starts squirting out, it's okay. Use your epoxy stick to gently smooth it out. You don't want to be too harsh with it because although it's pretty durable, it's thick. See, now I'm getting air underneath mine.
Right.
So just push it out. And then you can even get your finger, because you can feel better with your finger.
Right.
And smooth it down. Make it adhere. Get your little nail and just kind of push it down there. Okay, and then after you've done that, you're going to get that same epoxy, and you can tell I have way too much epoxy mixed up, but it's so hard to just measure little tiny bits, but we'll make a mold with it. I'll show you the molds and we'll make a mold. We're going to add glitter to it and make a mold.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm pretty happy. I've got all my air edges are pushed down. I'm going to take my epoxy and I'm going to pour it in there. And I don't want it to come up to the top. I'm not trying to get it level. Yeah, that's good. I'm good. And then we're going to take the heat gun to it.
I'm kind of scared. I almost feel like I want to drip it.
Yeah, don't pour. You can dip your stick in there and drip it in there. Yeah, because
this is more shallow than yours.
It is.
Sorry, I'm left-handed, so.
Totally do that, yeah.
But mine is much more shallow than Patty's, and I'm afraid if I try to pour
it, it's going to have too much.
I'm going to wear it.
Yeah.
And I'll have.
The next thing we're going to do is get the heat gun, and we're going to just go over it really quick.
So we're just covering this, not filling it, right?
Yeah, you don't want to totally fill it level.
Okay.
And just try not to get any on the outside edges. You can always scrape that off. Anytime you're scraping, then you're compromising the metal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you've got plenty. You've got enough. You don't need to drip any more in there. Just move it around where you were working in that corner.
You see it? Okay.
And then, of course, always make sure your surfaces are level. Mine's got a lot of bubbles in it. I'm really okay with bubbles to a certain extent. The bubbles don't really bother me just because I like dimension.
Yeah.
So put some cardboard under. Oh, you don't have cardboard, do you? Here. Let me get something. Hold on.
Okay.
I don't know. Let's do a cookie tray. That's safe.
Okay.
And we'll just put both of them on the cookie tray.
All right.
And then we're going to torch. Not torch. You can totally use the torch.
I'll show you how. Now, it's really easy to burn it, though, with a torch.
Yeah. Okay. You're good. And you don't want to do it on the highest setting because you don't want to move the epoxy. You don't want the epoxy to jump out and go over the edge. So just a quick, and you'll see the bubbles pop probably.
Oh, yeah.
That's good. Oh, yeah. You can see the bubbles popping.
There's something satisfying about watching
it is. It totally is. Try to hang the metal part off
that's right.
Off the edge. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so the bubbles popped, and then you just let it dry. So we have leftover epoxy, and I'm going to show Tabitha really quick what I do with my molds. Add glitter.
There's a clean one.
Oh, thanks. Get some silver in there. I stir it up. Look at that gorgeousness.
Oh, wow.
I know, right? Stir that up for me, and I'm going to go get the mold. We're just going to do a cabochon mold. And of course, I use these to make my little stretchy rings. So then what you do is you just pour it. You have to stop pouring right about here because it'll start rising.
Okay.
So just pour it in.
So you want me to pour?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Isn't that gorgeous though?
It is.
And then use that to scoop when you're done. Yep, keep going.
Keep going?
Yep. You just don't want it to the very top. I'll say when. Okay, good. That's a good marker right there because it'll rise a little bit. So then you can just keep pouring until you run out.
Now, have you ever made your own mold?
No. I should learn though because I'm always looking for the right
that's
mold.
I've seen that people do that. I just haven't been brave enough to do that
Yeah.
yet. Resin is so expensive that I was afraid I'd mess it up.
Yeah. This helps me on the tail end of not wasting.
Right.
What is that sound?
I hear your
Something
computer
popping.
I think it's a table. Maybe it's my bones.
No.
Okay. One more?
Mm-hmm. I think so.
Okay.
Yep. And then this last little bit, this is fun to do too. If you ever want to play a prank on someone, and I'm only doing it on this cookie sheet because I know it'll come right up. You can get the leftover and you just let it dry however, and you peel it up after it dries or put it on the floor and someone thinks that, they're stepping in glitter water. Or they'll try to pick it up off the floor.
Oh, yeah.
Like stick it on the vanity next time. I always like to make drips. Sometimes I'll place them just on the floor and see if Alan notices. And then another thing you could have done too is we could have just totally filled this.
Yeah.
With that glitter epoxy. And just done it that way. But anyway, so that's how I make my acrylic dirty pour pendants. So we didn't quite get the cross to work only because of the design of the cross. When you're tracing it on the inside, it's not the exact measurement because we needed to fit on the inside of the cross. And so it's a very small difference, but I think I'm just going to make a mold.
Yeah.
Put some epoxy in there and then pop it out, and then I'll always have that mold because the mold will be the exact shape.
Right.
So I'll have to work on that one. But anyways, all right, y'all. I hope you enjoyed watching us be crazy. And if you're watching this on the playback, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. You can also find me on Facebook, Southern Makes VIP group, and also on Instagram, Southern Makes. And then you can find Tabitha on
Just Breathe Designs on Facebook, and it's Just Breathe Designs, one word, on Instagram. And I have an Etsy page that is Just Breathe by Tabitha. And there's links on my Facebook, both pages to the Etsy site.
Cool. So there you go. All right. Well, thanks for joining us. Thanks for watching. And I'll see you next time on SouthernMakes Live on YouTube. Bye.